see if we can get this thing from trashed to track ready.
Yeah, and if it does, we'll hit the huge freestyle ramp with it too.
That's the goal. At the end of this video, you're gonna hit the freestyle ramp on this bike, believe it or not.
From free to freestyle. Yeah, I'll hit a backflip with this bike.
Oh, there you go. There, we're just gonna clean it off first and throw some new parts on it. All right, let's bring this back inside, dry it off, and get started on these parts. As you guys saw last week, we got the $200 bike put back together, mostly, and running. That's a great start. So I ordered a ton of parts. We've got brand new tires and inner tubes, front springs. Look at that. Brand new rear coilover. This goes in the back. This is like the rear suspension. Check this out. Brand new seat. That's gonna be nice. Pro taper bars. They're a little bit taller. Foot pegs, air filter, shifter. Most importantly, to fix this thing, we have a new clutch line and a really nice clutch lever. We're gonna get started. Start to install all the new parts. Let's get going. This thing is looking a lot better, all cleaned off. It was covered in dirt. The hardest part, I think, is going to be figuring out where to get started because there are so many parts to put on this thing. So let's just pick something and go. I think I'm gonna start by taking the wheels off. Front wheel is free. We're gonna take these two front forks off. We can rebuild those because there is no dampening left in these. To do that, we just have to remove this front brake caliper, brake line, and then remove it from the triple clamps. All right, let's take these over to the workbench. I usually leave these boots off because the idea behind the boots is it makes it hard for the dirt to get in and mess up your seals, but also what dirt does get in can't get out. And these bikes look a lot cooler without them. So we're gonna leave them off for now. See, there is no real dampening in there. It's all just spring force. This is gonna make a huge difference. So we'll do one at a time. So we start by removing this little bolt at the top. Keep track of what order everything's in. Pull out this spring because we will be putting new springs in. Not much oil in these. And without much oil, there's not much dampening. These are all of our parts. And while we're in here, what we're gonna do, place these seals. These go bad and then all the oil comes out. They're called the fork seals. Really common to leak, especially on these bikes, let me tell you. So we'll pull this outer seal out, which is called just the wiper seal. And that pops out. This little clip in here holds in the actual fork seal. Pull that out of there. Yep, super easy. Brand new seals. Put these old ones out of the way so nothing gets mixed up. We got two new wiper seals, two new fork seals. All we need to do is I just get them kind of lubed up, just a little bit of oil, and then they should just press in really easily. Just tap them in a little bit, put on a brand new wiper seal. Now all we gotta do, put it all back together, fill it with fresh oil. This fork leg just goes into here, and then this has to drop down in. Don't want to forget about this little crush washer that lives down there. This seals the bottom, keeps the oil from dripping out the bottom of the fork. There we go. Now the other part that we're doing is we're installing these heavier weight springs. These should help the bike handle the jumps better. Kind of hard to tell on camera, but this new spring is a whole lot thicker than the factory spring. Before we put the spring and the spacer in, we have to add fork oil. Let's move over to the vise real quick. You have to add a fairly precise amount of fork oil. And you do that by adding oil until you have the right amount of air gap. And so I have a zip tie here with the measured out air gap on, and I'll use it like a dipstick to check my oil level. And we're also going with a little bit thicker than this bike usually uses. I think it usually uses a 10 weight. We're putting in 20, which will just add that much more to dampening. Since Carter's probably gonna be using this thing for hitting jumps and things, it's probably a good idea to make it just a little bit stiffer. Pump the air out by just cycling the fork a few times. See where we're at. Yeah, we're down here and we need it up here. So add just a little bit more. You gotta be careful not to add too much. Perfect. So we'll extend it, drop in our heavier duty spring, and then we have these spacers. That's one rebuilt front shock. Now time to do one more. All right, so we've got both of these fork legs refreshened, fresh oil, fresh seals, heavier duty springs. We're ready to put them back in. So I know this one goes on this side because it's got the bracket for the brake line. We'll tighten those down for now. We will have to adjust them later. Same thing Bring it up until it's just flush up here. All right. Cool. But before we can put the front wheel on, we need to put a fresh tire and a fresh tube on it so it holds air and we have a little better grip than this junky tire will give us. Back to the workbench. First thing is the easy part, which is removing the old tire. Which sometimes with these bigger ones, you can just kind of pull it off. This one doesn't want to do that. All right. Old tire off. Nice new front tire here. I'm just gonna soap it up a bit, make it a little easier to slip on here. That wasn't so bad. So now we have our inner tube. So I'm gonna soap this up too. Push this in all the way around. Okay. So the next thing I usually do is I put just a bit of air in the tube, which helps keep it from getting pinched. That seems pretty good. I'm just gonna spray a little bit more soapy water in and we'll get started with the slightly scary part, because when I go to put this tire on, you need to be so careful not to pinch the tube with the tire spoons. We'll not be having a good time. Now we're to the tough part. There we go. Make sure we still hold air. Looks pretty perfect. Put my new cap on. Whew. All right, there we go. This is ready to go on the bike. What I'll probably start with here is getting this mounted back to our fork leg. Now we can put our new wheel and tire on. Just tighten up this axle nut. Make sure our front brake still works. Cool. We've got this fender, cleaned it up a bit. This just goes in right here. This is already making it look more like a dirt bike. What I'm thinking next is we'll take off the rear wheel. We'll do the new tire, new tube back here, the shock as well, so we'll have the new rear suspension on. So I'll start by removing or loosening up our adjuster screws here. Then pop out the axle nut, get the chain off of here. All right. Okay, so we want to take out this rear coilover here. And if I remember right, I need to take out the bolt here and then the one on top, and it just drops out. Cool. So now I've got this pretty cool rear coilover. It's from a company called Voncat. They got pretty good reviews, so we'll give it a whirl. I'm gonna go ahead and just set this probably about midway. We can adjust from there pretty easily. Oh gosh. Okay. Oh gosh. This is hard to do with just one person. It's so close. All right, that was a lot harder to put back in than take out, but we've got our new rear suspension in. Now we're gonna change out our rear tire and tube, and it's just like doing the front. All right, so we've got our new rear tire on, and our new chain, and our new rear suspension, so we're ready to put all of this back together. Okay, the rear wheel's on. Set the tension on our chain again. I'm gonna run these adjusters in until we get the chain as tight as it's supposed to be. We have to make sure they're even. This is a brand new chain, so brand new chains do tend to loosen up just a little bit. Now I'll just tighten up these adjusters and their lock nuts. On to the next part. We're gonna start there and remove these old bent up handlebars and put all fresh bars, grips, and clutch lever on here. As you can see, this one's pretty broken. I'm gonna start by removing the levers, the throttle from these old bars. I'll just remove these bolts and the bars pop right off. We've got these nice fresh Pro Taper bars here. Way nicer. They're a bit taller too. They just go right on in here like this. It's important to try and get them as centered as possible. They've got some good markings to help with that. But something like that's pretty good. It's pretty easy to adjust them later too. Now, front brake can go back on. Just kind of mock it up for now. That's pretty close to where it should be, I would say. We have this stop start button that goes there, and we of course have our throttle. Before I install this, I'm going to change the grip out on it. All right, so we've got our new grips on, left and right, new throttle grip. It's all looking really good. All that's left is to install our new clutch lever and a new clutch cable, which is longer for the extended bars. ASV clutch lever, probably one of the most expensive parts we put on this bike. They're pretty nice. All right, our fancy new clutch lever is installed. It's working really nicely. And we also have the new cable installed. Everything on the handlebars is looking pretty good. Now we're gonna oil our new air filter. which is pretty messy. It's pretty simple. All you do is you pour oil all over the filter, special filter oil at least, and you just kind of squeeze it into the filter until you don't have any white spots left or any dark spots. I think that's perfect. Okay, I think all that's left now is to put all the plastics back on, put this new seat on. It's a pretty fancy BBR tall seat. Just slide it into place. Perfect. Now I just got bolted in. And with that, I think the dirt bike is done. It's time to go get Carter and see his reaction. All right, well, let's see what Carter thinks of it. You ready, Carter?
I'm ready.
Check it out.
Oh my gosh.
There it is.
This is not what it looked like the day we got it.
Nope.
Oh my gosh, I love the all red. Oh, we got the tall seat.
Yep, tall seat.
Some new
all new suspension, brand new tires.
This feels like a motor. I can barely touch the ground. Oh my gosh.
New foot pegs, new handlebars, new hand grips, new clutch cable,
wow.
new clutch lever.
Wow. Oh my goodness gracious. This for $200? This is unbelievable. Does it all work?
It should.
Does the front suspension have dampening?
It's pretty good.
It does feel good. Oh, we gotta go rip this on the track. Let's see how it starts up. Are you sure you fixed it? There we go. Scared me for a second. Oh, we are ready. Let's do this thing. Here we go for the first test drive ever of the new $200 Honda. Let's rip around the track, get some warm up in, and see if we can hit some big jumps. Alrighty guys, it's been a while since I've ridden any bike, and the track hasn't been ridden in a while. Okay, first jump there, didn't clear that one. Woo! She's got stiff suspension, like it's really stiff. Woo! I came in spicy on that one. Here we go, we're going to try to clear the big tabletop. It's our fastest jump. I'm a little worried, not super used to the bike yet, but I feel like I should be okay. Let's see what happens. That was perfect first try. Yeah! Woo! That felt good.
Now time for Carter to hit the big ramp. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go!
No, hang on. No, this thing is huge and scary. Guys, I've hit this before, but I've crashed. Oh. I've broken my arm. This is a new bike. It's a new day. I haven't ridden in a while, so we got to keep it super safe today. But here on RAR Garage, we're going to be doing a lot more dirt bike content, so make sure you subscribe right now. Put on post notifications so you don't miss the next videos, because this cheap Honda is about to hit this massive 8-foot freestyle ramp in a future video. Yep.